Hiya, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be reading some Reddit stories as I mine in my forever world. Now, the first story reads, I worked with a lady while overseas that had some physical abnormalities. One leg longer than the other, lower jaw was smaller than the upper, and she had two different eye colors. Everyone wanted to ask her what was wrong, but they didn't want to offend her. So, finally, at a party, someone was drunk enough to ask. It turns out that she was inbred, a product of her mother and her older brother. Once more, she was proud of the fact that she was and was always willing to talk about it. Later that year, the office attended a very formal and international banquet at a local five-star hotel. Her date for the event was none other than her father/older brother. And of course, they got very close while slow dancing. So a few of my coworkers went to the front desk the following morning and asked. Now, not only did they share a hotel reservation, but the room that they stayed in only had one bed. I just want to say the comment right under this story says, and there it is. Because honestly, I think that was insanely expected, but that is crazy. Oh my gosh, they're just breeding like more and more and more and more of them. Just inbreeding and inbreeding and inbreeding and inbreeding, which is insane and crazy and just weird, but okay. I mean, does the mother not get jealous, or like does she like it too? I'm so confused. There's so many questions. Cuz essentially she and her grandma, who is her mother, are fighting over, well, not really fighting, we don't know if they are, but are dating the same man, basically. I wonder what her kids would be. Her mom would be like a grandma, but also like a great grandma, right? I don't know. Anyway, let's move on to the next story. This one reads, I intentionally buy food that my roommate cannot eat. It reads, so I have a roommate, both female in our 20s. She not only is my roommate, but she's my best friend for several years. We also live in a city that we are both not originally from. I do want to note that she earns more money than I do. She is vegetarian, and I will eat mostly anything. We both have good appetites, but my roommate definitely eats more than I do. She's way taller and much more active than I am. We buy groceries as a whole, and I'll buy here and there, and so does she. But we share everything, and it's worked out and still does for many years now. It's convenient and easy. Sometimes we do buy things that aren't meant just for the other person, and we have lived together long enough for me to know the random single tin of tuna is just hers and hers only, and so on. But this usually applies to things we buy in small quantities. This way also means that I, 9 out of 10%, always buy things that the both of us can eat, making my diet also 90% vegetarian, which I don't mind. If we buy something sweet, no matter the size, there is an unspoken rule to not eat it unless it's been offered to share. The other day, I bought a large pack of yogurt, and when I came to get one the day after, there were only 2 left. Although I can't complain since I did say she could have some, this has been a common pattern. I do joke sometimes, like, damn, bro ate 6 yogurts in 12 hours. Must be some kind of diet. But I have never said anything firmly for a couple of reasons. One being that she buys more things, she eats the most, so she happily buys the most. But this also means that I feel like when I buy things, I automatically have no say since I'm constantly enjoying the things that she buys. Now, this isn't no big issue whatsoever, and I go out of my way to buy things that I know she will like happily, but sometimes I do not want to buy the huge pack of cheese and onion rolls and eat them myself. So, to find my way around this, I have started to buy things that purposely have meat without worrying about it being eaten, such as pork and chicken dumplings and an entire pack of pork sausages. I still make sure to buy most things for the both of us, but then I'll get a large pack of something that contains meat so I can eat it myself. Right now, I'm enjoying my large pack of sausage rolls. Of course, my roommate doesn't say anything about it, and when she buys things that are meat alternative, I, of course, don't eat it. It's just a small way that I found to be greedy without feeling guilty. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I wouldn't blame them for this, I guess. Your roommate knows that you're not a vegetarian, so they should expect that you wouldn't be buying, you know, leafy greens and fish all the time. I think buying meat was expected since you're not holding to the vegan lifestyle. Anyway, moving on to the next story. This one reads, when I was little, maybe about 10, I went to a daycare before and after school. There was this kid that was going to be starting at the same school and daycare as me, and I was told by the staff that his father had just died. Because my dad had died a few years earlier, they thought maybe him and I could be friends and I could help him in some way. It didn't happen. This kid was the most annoying person I had ever met, and not only myself, but all the other kids, even some staff, would bully and tease him. My family had known this kid's family somehow, and it had been told to me that the kid's dad had committed suicide by shooting himself. One day on the bus, the kid starts talking about how his dad died by getting hypothermia from falling in his pool while cleaning it during winter. I said, no, he didn't. Your dad died by ending himself. Don't lie, my family told me. Oh gosh. That night, his mom called my house, and I sat on the phone with my hand over the mouthpiece while his mom cried on the phone to my mom, asking why I would say something like that and how upset her son was. I received one of the worst beatings I ever got that night. I got kicked off the basketball team at school. It was a dark time for me as a child. I felt like I didn't know what I did wrong other than upset people because I wasn't telling a lie. I was the one telling the truth. But as I got older, I realized I had told someone the truth about their father before his family thought he was ready. And that the kid wasn't lying when he said he thought his dad died of hypothermia, but that he was told a lie because he was so young and his family was trying to protect him. I think about it all the time and wonder if when she told him what really happened at some point, he remembered what I said all those years earlier. Terrible. Oh gosh. Honestly, I don't blame him though. Why would the parents tell him then? Like if it was such a secret, right? Because listen, the kid's parents obviously knew. The kid's parents tell this kid's parents. The only way that boy would have known was if his parents told him. If it was such a big secret, why did they tell him to begin with? I would honestly blame the parents in this case. Because 10 years old, the only way he would have known is if his parents told him. I absolutely blame the parents in this case. Like, that's so unfair. And then you just whip him and take everything away from him because you're the one who told him that information? Okay. Like, you should have known. He's 10 years old. They're friends. Like, it was going to come out somehow. I don't know why they blamed him. Oh, this poor kid. I do not blame him whatsoever. Maybe somebody else has a different thought about this. But, oh gosh. That is so sad. Um, wow. I don't even know what to say to this. I wouldn't blame him. Like, you told him. You must have told him. But anyway, let's move on to the next one. This story reads, I stole my neighbor's cat 6 months ago, and I watch him look for it every single day. Oh gosh. Alright, this one reads, I live in a crappy apartment complex where the walls are basically made of paper, and my neighbor was this guy who probably shouldn't even be allowed to own a houseplant, let alone a living creature. He had this small black cat that he would just leave out on the balcony for hours, regardless of the weather. I could hear the poor thing crying through the vents while he was inside blasting music or shouting at his Xbox. One night, it started pouring rain and the temperature dropped hard, and I saw the cat shivering on the railing, looking miserable as hell. I just reached over my balcony, grabbed the cat, and brought it in my house. I didn't even think about it, I just reacted. The next morning, I heard him shouting in the hallway, asking everyone if they had seen his pet. I just stood there with the door cracked open and told him I hadn't seen a thing. And maybe the cat finally jumped off because it was fed up with his. Yeah. He spent weeks putting up posters and walking around the block calling its name, while the cat was literally sleeping on my bed 10 feet away from him. It has been 6 months now, and he still brings it up whenever we cross paths in the laundry room. He would look genuinely devastated sometimes, which would make me feel bad, but if he hadn't ignored his cat, then I wouldn't have done that. The cat is doing great now, by the way. I renamed him and he is as healthy as hell because he actually gets fed decent food and doesn't have to freeze his tail off outside. I have to be extremely careful though. I never let him near windows when the blinds are up, and I have a specific routine for when I take out the trash so he doesn't accidentally dirt out into the hallway. It's a stressful way to live, but seeing the cat actually purring instead of screaming makes it worth the paranoia. My friends think I just adopted him from a shelter in the next town over, but I'm never telling them the truth. Sometimes I see the neighbor at the local bar looking through old photos on his phone, and I just sit there drinking my beer and saying absolutely nothing. I know it is technically theft, and I am a liar, but some people just don't deserve the loyalty of an animal. He probably thinks a coyote got it or something, or someone picked it up off the street, which is technically true, I guess. I just happen to be that someone. And the cat seems to prefer my taste in movies anyway, so we're sticking to the plan. Now, I will probably move out when my lease is up, just to end the risk of him hearing a meow through the wall. Until then, I am just the helpful neighbor who offers a sympathetic nod while the evidence is napping in my living room. I don't blame them, but what they did was wrong. But it's like, it's one of those questions, isn't it? It's one of those moral dilemmas, which is like, you've done good at the end, but the way of which you got there was bad. But I don't know. I wouldn't blame them. Of course, stealing a cat is bad, but the cat was suffering regardless. It's basically the equivalent of just taking an stray, because the way that this person was treating the cat, it was kind of like a stray. Like, how can you be so devastated because you lost your cat when you were just leaving him on the balcony for hours? I don't think that tracks. Yeah. I would say the benefit to the benefit of the cat and the fact that the cat has a much better life now, I wouldn't blame this person, and I think they did a good job. But once they do move out, I would love for them to tell the person, like, by the way, I took your cat. Like, wouldn't that be so funny? Like, such a funny way, like, just such a funny way to get the cat out the bag, basically, or out his house. But, yeah. Yeah, what do you guys think about this? Let me know in the comments. And let's move on to the next and last story. Alright, this one reads, in ninth grade, a 10th grader who was a football star wouldn't stop bullying me. This one time, he stuck his foot out, heel side up, to try and trip me, but instead, I stepped on it. He hopped around from the pain and went and ratted on me, but I told the principal that I'd not seen the bully's foot, which the security camera backed up, given my footstep. Of course, I had really done it on purpose instead, but I got off scot-free, and the bully was reprimanded for attempting to trip me. The injury was bad enough that he couldn't play in the Wisconsin State Football Championship that Saturday, 2 days after, and my high school lost by a field goal. TLDR, I was responsible for my high school football team losing at state despite not being on the team, which is, I guess, a cool story. Somebody in the comments said the bully was an a-hole and deserved it. I mean, honestly, play stupid games, win stupid prizes. You're trying to trip somebody up and you get stepped on instead. Boo-hoo, buddy. Like, I don't know what to tell you. But, yeah. What do you guys think about this? Would you do the same thing? Would you do something else? Maybe just drop kick him in the face? I don't know. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. But those are the stories that I have for you today. And I will see you in the next one.